Welcome to the Angel Mystic Podcast. I am super excited you are listening because this is where spiritually open minds can come together to explore the wonders of angels, spiritual connections, and the art of manifesting. Hosted by me, Amanda Tooke, the Angel Mystic, your spiritual midwife to help you on your journey to a fulfilling and happy life. You may have seen me on ITV, Channel 4, or even in Fate and Fortune magazine. In each episode, we will delve into the mystical world of angels, offering you insights, guidance, practical tools to deepen your connection with the upstairs so that you can find inner peace, happiness, joy, and create the life that you want. Tune in for weekly, fun conversations, transformational insights that will elevate your spiritual journey and awaken your inner mystic. Please hit subscribe now as we embark on a transformational adventure with the Angel Mystic Podcast. I'm just interrupting the podcast this week to remind you of what's coming up because you are not going to want to miss this. My free spiritual training, Spiritual Awakening, is happening. Now, if you get in weird ascension symptoms going on, if you want to connect with your angels, if you want to develop your intuition, if you want to learn all about energy hygiene, grounding and protection, and this is the place to be. It's 4 days. It's going to be incredible. It's happening over in Abundance Manifesting, my free group, but there is a link in the show notes. Each day there'll be a little video for you to watch, and then live in the evening at 7:30 we go deeper on that day's subject. There is replays if you can't make it live. You can invite your friends. We're going to have an awesome time remembering that we are spiritual beings having a human reality. And quite honestly, if you want life to be a little bit easier, I think it's time to embrace all of that. There is so much happening in this crazy world right now. The more spiritual we are, the easier it gets to navigate it. So come and join me, find out what spiritual ascension symptoms are happening for you, and let's take your connections to the next level. See you there. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 101. It still feels quite a milestone. It really does. And in this episode today, we are talking about why life is not working out for you. Oh my goodness. Where to start? I'll start by saying this feels a little bit like a truth bomb. So do buckle up and stay for the ride because it will give you such clarity in yourself when you start joining up the dots on this. And it's something that, oh my goodness, I do not know what I would do without it in my life right now, or indeed ever. It is something that I rely on a lot, but I also see a lot of other people not using it. So what am I talking about? Why are you making life so hard for yourself? Because that's how it feels when you're not using it. And the thing I'm talking about is your intuition. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, why is this not working out? Why does everything feel so hard? What is it I am doing wrong? You know, you might be trying to manifest and you're trying to stay as positive as you can. You're doing all your stuff, the journaling, the meditating, all your practice, but there's still something off. And time again, I see this. I see people missing this really important link, and that is listening to your intuition. When you're not using your intuition, you're making decisions and choices from fear, from logic, or you're people pleasing. You're disconnected from the deepest, most powerful part of yourself, that inner compass that is there to help navigate you through life. So let's talk about what happens when you start to change that, because everything can start to change when you start tapping in to your intuition. Life stops feeling like a slog. Um, if you are like me, and I am totally guilty of doing this at times, overthinking, when you start using your intuition, you don't do that anymore. You're not second guessing yourself. You're not comparing yourself. You're not weighing things up. You're not finding it hard to make a decision. You're just following your intuition and you're doing what feels right. And that's the important bit, doing what feels right. That makes you feel safe. But when you don't do that, the exact opposite happens. That's when you stay in jobs that just drain you. When you don't, you have relationships that are just not honoring you, not working out for you. And your little inner you is screaming at you, no, 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 no. But you're so in your head with it all. And that creates a misalignment. That's where you're not living the life that you came here to live. And you know what? Intuition isn't just for certain people, it's for everyone. Everyone's got it. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. And it's your soul's sat nav, if you like. And when you ignore it, you miss every flipping turn. Now, if you know me quite well, you will probably know that I cannot follow a sat nav. I am just, I really struggle to understand it. But I never miss understanding my intuition. Never, ever, ever. It is just so part of me, something I do every day. And that makes decisions so much easier. If it feels right, I'm going to do it. And if it doesn't, I'm going to walk away. And that often is things sat at my desk. Like we'll be in a team meeting and we're thinking of a new training that we're running. And if it's not coming together, I'll go, let's just park it. Let's come back to it when it feels right. It's about living life in that flow mode. So let's think about now what we can do to waken that back up within you. So, have you ever heard of the sway? The sway is an energetic signal within your body. There's lots of different ways that you can do that. But a sway is where you stand with your feet firmly on the ground and you close your eyes and you take a few moments to center yourself and you ask for a sign for yes and you ask for a sign for no. And quite often your sign for yes is a slight move forward. Your just body will sway forward and it will sway back when you come into the no energy. Now, you can test that by asking, what is my name? What color car do I drive? Something that you can't get wrong. And then you can start asking some more juicy questions. Is this situation right for me? Is it time for me to start my business? Is this offer aligned for me? Should I go on this date? Anything you want to ask, you could start asking those questions and get a sway. Start listening to your body rather than being in your head. And you can also start, these are all ways to sort of wake up your intuition. You can start each morning with an intuitive check-in. Place your hand on your heart and ask, what do I need to know today? And then write down the first things that come to mind. It might be an image. It might be words. It might be feelings. And it doesn't really need to make sense, but it does need to be captured. And over time, you'll start to see a pattern. And this is the whisper of your soul. And it will start to get louder. Because your intuition is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it's going to get weak and wobbly. But when you start using it, when you start tuning into it little by little, life starts to rearrange itself in some amazing ways around the truth of who you are. And you start to feel aligned, even if everything isn't perfect. because nobody's lives are perfect. But the right opportunities will start to come your way. Your energy will interact with other people's energy differently. You'll stop leaking your energy. Energy leaks are just the worst for manifesting. So if your life hasn't been working out the way that you want, start tuning into your intuition. You've just disconnected from that inner guidance. And as the angels always say about making decisions, which we need to use our intuition on, there is no wrong decisions in life. When you're sat on that fence and you can't decide yes or no, and you're weighing it all up and you're thinking in your head and you're asking everyone else's opinions, that's the wrong way to make a decision. The right way to make a decision is following what feels right for you, following your intuition, following your inner guidance. And there is no wrong decisions. You either get what you think you're going to get, or you get what you need in terms of lessons and learnings. So if this episode has hit home with you today and you think, do you know what, this is a sign I need to develop my intuition, you're going to want to come into Spiritual Awakening free training. It's a 4-day amazing training. We're not only going to be developing your intuition, we're going to be doing energy hygiene. We're going to be meeting your angels. We're going to be talking about ascension and how that will be affecting you. And it's all for free, and it's on the 18th of August. All the details are in the show notes. Go and claim your free prize of a place in Spiritual Awakening, if you will. And I am going to get the cards ready to see what our guidance is for the coming week. So this will be for the 18th to the 24th of August, the week that we are in Spiritual Awakening training. See what the angels want us to know. Oh, wow, the cards are coming out in a very strange fashion. They're all sort of hiddly-piddly and all over the place. Yeah, okay, so sorry for the pause, but I am just, I've never seen the cards come out like this before in all the years I've been doing it. And I also feel like I need to read them differently. And this is so important when you're using cards correctly and not reading them from a book, using them intuitively, ironically. You've got to get into what you're feeling. And I'm feeling really different about these cards this week. So in the middle of the week, we've got the abundance card. It's literally bang in the middle of the week. And then the other 3 cards on either side feel like they're leading into this abundance. And the whole energy of that week feels like we are rising, we are moving up to the pinnacle of abundance. But there is work to be done to get there. Now, the first card that came out for the Monday is the release card. This is just such a beautiful reminder that we need to not hold on to our problems. When we're holding on to our problems, they are not going to get fixed. You are not going to see solutions. You're not going to see another way of looking at things. So it's time to let them go, surrender them, give them to your angels so you can find a way forward, so you can find a positive outcome to something that feels quite difficult and has been draining you for too long. Surrender it, let it go. Don't worry about how things are going to get fixed, just surrender it. It might be that you want to write it down, burn it, and release it. It might be that you want to visualize it in a balloon floating up into the sky. Whatever works for you, but do release it, because that's the card for Monday, the release card. Of course, I'm using my own cards here that you can get these over on my website, theangelmystic.co.uk. which is also where you can sign up for the free training. And the Tuesday card is a simple card. It feels like this isn't just simple. I feel like I'm taking a big breath, like a big release, big relief breath. Because we've done the release work on the Monday, and now things are just getting easier. Things are getting simple. Things are getting sorted out. Do look out for sparkly lights at the corners of your eyes as one of your signs that your angel is around you and with you. If you want to know all about angel signs, we have another podcast all about that, how you can work them out. And in Spiritual Versity, we also have an angel sign decoder. It's a whole PDF. It helps you work out what your angel signs really, really mean. So that was Monday, Tuesday. We're on to Wednesday now. We need to be doing energy hygiene. We need to be making sure that we are grounding and protecting every day. And of course, that's what we're doing in this training this week as well. So it's really going to help. It's going to bring it all together. Even if you're not on a real spiritual journey, if you're just doing, life, you need to be protected about other people's energy. Have you ever noticed how you always like to sit in the same chair? If you go to an event, say you're doing a class or something like that, each week you'll want to sit in the same place. You've probably got your favorite chair at home. That's all energy hygiene. I'm explaining all of that in the training, but make sure you are doing some of that. And in Spiritual Versity, there is a grounding and protection meditation in there waiting for you too. And it is only £20 for the whole year. £20 for the whole year. Here we go. This is that card that was throwing me a bit. This is the abundance card. Feels like to get the abundance that you want, you're going to have to do new things. You're going to have to think differently. You're going to have to behave differently. But it is possible. I want you to remember that. It is possible. It's like everything's leading up to this when you do what we've already spoke about and you do what I'm going to tell you for the rest of the week. Abundance, of course, is a mindset. Abundance is more than enough of whatever it is that you want. And we are all capable of feeling the energy of abundance, even if we feel like it's not the abundance that we want. So you might be wanting abundance in money, but actually what you're abundant in is bills. What you're abundant in is dust. What you're abundant in is debt. But you do know what the frequency of abundance feels like. And that's what you need to work with, but then direct it in the energy of money, love, whatever it is that you want. That was Thursday. And do look out for the angel tittles. I feel like I've got one now on my nose where the angels are tittling you and you can sort of feel that cobwebby, tittly feeling on your face. That is a sign from your angels. As we move into Friday, we've got the issues card. This is a reminder not to get involved in problems that you don't need to get involved in. Don't do the drama. Walk away from the Debbie Downers because you do not need to be in that energy space. You need to do the energy hygiene that we spoke about earlier in the week and keep that going, not getting pulled into things you don't need to get pulled into. Step away from it. Control your energy. Moving into the weekend, it feels like a sleepy, snoozy, spiritual weekend. They're all purple cards. Purple cards, of course, are spiritual cards. And on the Saturday, we've got the soul card. The soul card is all about remembering that this is not your first rodeo, that you've been here many times before, and the wisdom that you know, but you don't know where you know it from, is coming from deep within your soul, and it is safe to trust that. Look for rainbows as one of your signs too. And on Sunday, it is sleep. It feels like you need to rest. It feels like you need to snooze. You need to look after yourself. Do some soul care because there's like downloads happening. So even when you do go to sleep, you're receiving so much information, it's not feeling restful. So you do need to look after yourself on a deeper level. You need to trust what you're getting. And if you're being, just a little tip for you, if you do get woken up in the middle of the night, which is all part of a spiritual awakening, and we'll be talking about that in the training this week. If you do get woken in the middle of the night and the next morning you are not tired, even though you've been awake, it is definitely the upstairs that have had you awake because you're never tired the next day if the upstairs have had you awake. If you're awake for other reasons, well, then you become tired, but not for spiritual reasons. Fun fact. That is it. That's our cards for the week. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast today. Please leave us a little review. Please share it out with your friends. And I'll see you in the training. Bye for now. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If so, please hit follow and share my message by sharing with your friends. It would be amazing if you can leave a review. All this will help, and it activates the universal law of the more you give, the more you receive. So it's a win-win. You can find more good stuff between episodes over on social media. Just search The Angel Mystic on Facebook, Instagram or TikTok, or check out the links in the show notes. I'd love for you to connect more over in my free group in Abundance Manifesting, all on Facebook. Hope to see you there.